It's the weekend. The weekend starts here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good fantalocious Friday morning to each and every one of you. How are you this morning? I hope you had a restful and peaceful Thursday. It's good, looking like it's going to be a good weekend. It's a good day to have a good day to plan a good weekend. Bless up your whole fantastic, beautiful, handsome selves. How are everybody this morning? Yeah, in a good mood. It's a weekend. I feel it's a weekend. Thoughts of the weekend coming over the Himalayas. I'm in a fantastic mood this morning. Good morning, all you. Bless up all yourselves, whatever platform you're using this morning, whether it's the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Our viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Bless up your whole selves. Let's go straight into this morning's word of the day. The French accent is back. Word of the day. All right, let me go. This morning's word of the day is aghast. Aghast. It's spelled A-G-H-A-S-T. Aghast. It's an adjective which means shocked and upset. If you are aghast, you might look like you've just seen a ghost or something similarly shocking. Aghast traces back to Middle English verb gaston, which means to frighten. Gaston comes from gast, a Middle English spelling of the word ghost. Gast, G-A-S-T, also came to be used in English in a verb meaning to scare. That verb is now obsolete, but its spirit lives on in words spoken by the character Edmund in William Shakespeare's King Lear. Gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled. Word of the day this morning, aghast, spelled A-G-H-A-S-T, an adjective which means shocked and upset. An example of the use of the word, critics were aghast at how awful the play was. That's the word of the day this morning, aghast, A-G-H-A-S-T, an adjective which means shocked and upset. When something have you gasping for breath, you're aghast, you're shocked, or you're upset. Like when all you realize the week flew by, or when you realize August is already 20 days gone, you're like, you're aghast, you're shocked. And you take a deep breath. That's what comes to mind when I think of aghast. You're taken aback. All right, let's see what the thought of the day is. This thought of the day is going to take you through the rest of the month, the next 11 days of August. Right, the next 11 days of August. And the thought for the rest of August, August blessings. May you be healthy and happy. May you have strength and courage. May you find comfort and peace. May your days be filled with joy and love. May you be happy and healthy. May you have strength and courage. May you find comfort and peace. May your days be filled with joy and love. I want each and every one of us to have a blessed rest of August. And of course, as long as we're alive, it's going to be a good time. But let's focus on the next 11 days at least. So this is what I wish for you all to be happy, for you all to be healthy, for you all to have strength and courage, find comfort and peace. And may the next 11 days at least be filled with joy and love. August blessings to each and every one of my listeners and my viewers. Bless up your whole selves. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada, whether it's every day, regularly, once in a while, this is your first time, whatever it is, blessings upon each and every one of you. Appreciate you to the fullest. All right, let's see what is celebrated today. The celebrations for today cannot take me back because I don't even feel like I want to celebrate it. But I guess everything has its purpose. When I tell you what it is, you'll say, I understand what she said. Today is World Mosquito Day. World Mosquito Day. More than just annoying pests, mosquitoes are responsible for spreading serious diseases. In 1897, Ronald Ross discovered that mosquitoes transmit malaria, and that revolutionized the understanding of the disease and the pests and led to increased awareness about prevention. Today, the best way to prevent the disease is to avoid bites by infected mosquitoes. Insecticide-treated nets, preventative treatment for pregnant women and infants, and indoor residual spraying are all ways to reduce transmission. But the prevalence of mosquitoes in hard-hit areas like sub-Saharan Africa pose a challenge to eradication measures. Today, mosquitoes are known to transmit numerous serious diseases. However, we need to set aside a day to understand the pests and to recognize the measures that need to be taken to avoid transmission of whatever disease it may be. It is World Mosquito Day. That's a good day for us to check our environments, make sure we don't have mosquito breeding grounds across the place. We're in the rainy season, so rainwater is gathering in nooks and crannies and bottles and old tires. And World Mosquito Day is a good day to make sure that we are not breeding mosquitoes. Them little pests just frustrate me. Just biting like it going out of style. It's Mosquito Day. I don't know how to tell you. Yes, that's how we're going to celebrate Mosquito Day, to ensure that our environments are free from mosquito breeding grounds. Not just malaria in the dance, a real thing they transmitting in the fet. If I start to name them, we would run out of time. So just make sure that your environment, whether it's around your homes or around your business places, that they are free from mosquito breeding grounds on World Mosquito Day. All right, 1 minute to the news. Just want to hail up Grenada's lone representative at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships currently underway in Kenya, Nazio John. He completed the 100-meter series because he did the prelims, the semis, and the final. He finished 7th in the final in 10.59 seconds, if my memory serves me correctly. But we sent him nutmeg power because he is preparing for the 200 meters this morning. I believe it's just after midday our time. So good luck to Nazio, representing Grenada, the lone Grenadian in the competition, flying the Grenadian flag. We just want to big him up, send him positive vibrations, and we wish him all the best as he starts the semi-finals of the 200 meter this morning. I think it's 12:05 our time. So good luck to Nazio, and thank you once again for representing the Isle of Spice at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Kenya. Now let's get ready for the morning edition of news for those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms. Highlights of last evening's newscast. Thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada on this fantalocious Friday. Thanks for joining us.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
With a Digicel Prime Bundle, get double the dedicated SportsMax data to enjoy the greatest sports event happening now. Live in the SportsMax app. Get a 30-day Digicel Prime Bundle today in the My Digicel app. Digicel, better together.
Grenada received 29,250 Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine doses on Wednesday, giving Grenadians a choice to pick the vaccine they prefer. But will Grenadians welcome this move by the Ministry of Health and take the new vaccine? The answer in this Rena Perry-Thomas report.
Members of government received the over 20,000 Pfizer doses on Wednesday evening at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Since April, COVAX has provided tens of thousands of residents in Grenada and the Eastern Caribbean with access to COVID-19 vaccines. The vaccines were donated to Grenada by the U.S. government as part of the Biden-Harris administration's global vaccine sharing framework. If fully used, this donation could bring Grenada's fully vaccinated population from 15 to 59%. GBN News team visited the streets of St. George to get an understanding of how the population feels on having the option to choose between AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccine when getting vaccinated.
I ain't gonna take the vaccine, not right now.
Any reason you want to share why?
I don't know reason. I ain't trust.
I already take one already, and I'm gonna take my next shot. There's no problem.
I'm not interested in anyone so far.
Any reason you want to share with us why?
I'm just observing still because I have my complications and I have to be very careful before I decided to take whatever. As for now, it doesn't matter which one.
Well, a lot of people keep saying that they prefer to have an option, so I think it's a good idea to have an option.
I just don't take it. I have nowhere to go, you know, miss. I have log on behind my house. I go so I have to take it. The only place they might try to fold because I might have to go and take a lot of money in the bank. But I'm okay.
Still, I would not take it.
No, I'm not sure about
that. Any particular reason you want to share with us?
Well, you know, sometimes, you still got to think about it, even if, you're hearing so many things, even if maybe, you have to do your own research. But I'm not sure for now.
Pfizer is approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the World Health Organization. It provides an opportunity for Grenadians 12 years and older to get vaccinated. Health Minister Nicholas Steele recognizes the joint donation to Grenada.
What is more important on that, not just that this is the first bilateral delivery from the United States to the U.S., but that this is the first vaccine that is available for persons 12 and over. And I think it has come just in time for school. And there's so many parents out there that I know are going to rest easier tonight.
This donation is in addition to the more than 45,000 vaccines provided to Grenada through the COVAX facility, which the United States supports with US $4 billion in financial commitments.
I'm looking forward to many persons coming. We expect to start the vaccine, using this vaccine on Monday morning. We will make announcements between now and Monday morning as to the sites that the vaccine will be available. We will make it available to as many sites as possible.
The delivery of the Pfizer vaccine doses from the U.S. government began last week with the delivery of vaccines to St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Lucia received on August 17th. For GBN News, I am Rena Perry-Thomas reporting.
Now, it's just over 2 months since unvaccinated workers of SGU were barred from entering the campus. Since then, the workers have been protesting against what they say is forced vaccination. After weeks of ongoing negotiations with the managing body of SGU, union representative for the workers, Tao, says the matter may be brought before a third party. Rena Perry-Thomas tells us more.
President of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andrew Lewis, says that after weeks of discussions with St. George's University with no sign of a solution, the suggestion was made that the matter be brought to the Labour Commissioner. According to Lewis, in their last session with SGU at the end of July, several concerns were addressed, with solutions being found for some of the smaller issues. While this is so, the more pressing matters are still outstanding.
A number of matters that the union addressed with the school when we met on the 29th of July. They have responded to us, and as we speak, we wrote the school yesterday indicating that based on where we reach, we are of the view that the matter should be brought forward in terms of the industrial relations procedure to the Ministry for Labour. Yes, so that is where we are. If the school is of the view that they want for their engagement because they have change of positions on what we call the substantive matters, then we're always open for discussion.
A recent press release issued by the managing body of SGU stated that after consultation with their internal infectious disease experts, they will not grant exemptions to unvaccinated breastfeeding mothers or those who refuse to take the vaccine based on religion. The school did agree to accept an exemption letter from the physician of pregnant workers for review. Lewis, who was speaking on the matter, says the university also gave other workers the option of seeking medical review for exemption.
The school has agreed that if any worker wish to access its facilities for medical advice, they are allowed to do that. I would think that if a medical practitioner makes a case for exemption for a worker, once that medical influence exemption is what it is our expectation that the school should honor that. They will go through the process of review, but the aspect of possibility of exemption has always existed. We wrote the school because it was one of the requests of the workers. Workers are free, and I would expect a worker may feel more comfortable in using their own medical advisor to make a case for them. So it does not have to be from the school.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pear Thomas reporting.
Opposition Senator Rolanda McQueen is challenging Health Minister Nicholas Steele to make public CCTV footage available from the Morris Bishop International Airport to show who is being truthful over talks of a shortage of test swabs at the airport last week. She has presented audio recording. Now she wants the camera footage. We get the details in this report.
In a press release issued on Thursday with an audio recording purporting to be from the day in question, Senator Rolanda McQueen maintains her position on the issue of insufficient test kits at the airport on August 11th. Here is an excerpt of the audio provided by Senator McQueen.
Why? There was a delay on the emergency. It came in yesterday, I believe. I'm not blaming you guys because I know what you want your best. Yeah, I'm whole day, like, because I like to be prepared. Yes, of course. So whole day I call and to try to get. So you know I'm going to make a fuss about it.
The conversation, as said in the audio, is different from the report provided by Health Minister Nicholas Steele during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing.
Last week there was one day at which, based on the reports that I've received, because I asked for a full report from the individuals at the airport and received from the permanent secretary as well. At 4:48, the team of nurses who were doing the swabbings ran out of swabs, and at 5:10 p.m., 4:48 p.m., 5:10 p.m., the new stock of swabs were there, and they started swabbing again. 4:48 to 5:10. They were at the airport. It was a case of logistics, not at the swabs not being in the arrival hall of the terminal building.
In reference to statements made by Minister Steele, Senator McQueen said she is not trying to get into the limelight, as the minister inappropriately suggested. Her statement reads in parts, "The minister said he leaves it up to the public to judge my utterances regarding the crisis at the MBIA, and I call on him to release the footage so that it can inform this public judgment." When contacted about this development, Minister Steele said he has no further comment on the issue. Senator McQueen says she believes the Minister of Health and his senior team members still owe the people of Grenada a proper explanation on this issue, since he failed to do so when asked by reporters and instead chose to adopt a shoot-the-messenger attitude. In addition, she is calling on the Minister of Health to shut down the country for a week and embark on mass testing at no cost to the public in response to the current cases of COVID-19 on island. To this, Minister Steele said government continues to weigh its options as the situation unfolds. Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
No setbacks expected for students of the Florida Government School come September. This as the Ministry of Education is making alternative arrangements to accommodate students while work is contemplated for the former structure.
We did have a later than expected start, a later start to the erection of what is to be temporary facilities for Florida government. I must say that with the plan that is in place, there should be no interruption, no delay in the resumption of school for staff or students for Michaelmas term 20.
That's the Chief Education Officer, Angela Finley, on what should be expected for the Florida Government School. The original building was deemed unsafe and was condemned, leaving a cramped space and a rotation system from which teachers and students operated. The CEO says Florida Government School was on the priority list for some time, and funds has been secured for the refurbishment. However, after assessments were done, it was deemed a waste of resources to do refurbishment, which eventually led to a delay.
The site meeting with the principal, Mr. Marvin Andel, and persons from the Ministry of Works and our project officer, as we said, as Tuesday of this week. And temporary buildings are being constructed to accommodate both staff and students. So there'll be sufficient space on plant for the start of the new academic year.
Speaking to Principal Marvin Andel via telephone on Wednesday, he is optimistic that there will be a smooth transition.
We have received information from the Ministry of Education that a temporary structure will be constructed on the premises of the school that will enable us to hold and have all our students in every day from September. The construction is scheduled to start this week. Mobilization was supposed to commence yesterday, and we expect that the contractor will work overtime in order to ensure that we can be ready for the reopening of school.
There have not been many transfers from his school, he says, despite the uncertainties that loomed. He says the numbers rather have increased.
We've had some new students registered, as well as a number of students who have transferred from other schools to come to our schools. So our numbers are looking up. Despite the challenges, there is still a lot of confidence in what we deliver at the Florida Government School.
The Chief Education Officer says funding is being secured for a new structure. However, a location has not yet been identified. Meanwhile, President of the Parent Teachers Association of the Florida Government School, Annette McKenzie, says the size of the two buildings now being erected is not enough to house 5 classrooms. She vented her frustration via a Facebook post criticizing the ministry's late start with construction since school has been on a long break. According to McKenzie, Florida Government School deserves better. Chrislina John, GBN News.
A friend in need is a friend indeed. With the enduring effects of COVID-19 pandemic and the unpredicted natural disasters, 2 of our Caribbean sister islands, Cuba and Haiti, are in need of assistance. Anika Alexander has this report.
Haiti continues to be dealt hard blows, from the COVID-19 pandemic and the assassination of their prime minister to the unexpected 7.2 magnitude earthquake that toppled buildings and took nearly 2,000 Haitian lives on Saturday, followed by the subsequent flooding caused by Tropical Depression Grace. This morning on GBN's To The Point program, NADMA's communications officer, Oslin Crosby, updated citizens on the status of local efforts to assist Cuba and Haiti.
What happens with every disaster and disastrous situations is that you will conduct an assessment. A thorough assessment is ongoing because the earthquake Saturday, the depression came the next day, you're still dealing with COVID and everything else. So that's an ongoing assessment. What you would do now is ensure then that you have the infrastructure, or rather the mechanism is in place for you to be able to respond.
The communications officer explained that as assessments continue in Haiti, Grenada awaits guidance from the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDIMA, whereas international organizations like UNICEF are already assisting Haiti.
So we await further guidance from SEDIMA. SEDIMA held a press conference on Monday. In addition to that, as I said, Jamaica is there, UNICEF and the other agencies are there. We wait now for further guidance as to what are some of the other things that they would need, the physical things that we will be able to better support. Haiti's call will be coming soon. We just await further guidance because we don't work in isolation. We work as a CARICOM block, we work as a CARICOM group, and SEDIMA is the one that guides that regional response and will guide the regional response for Haiti.
In the meantime, NADMA, a member of the recently cabinet-mandated Humanitarian Drive for Cuba committee, is collecting medical supplies to assist Cuba in their time of need. Crosby relayed the items needed, purchasing procedures, and encouraged citizens to donate.
We're encouraging the public to give generously. Give generously. The list is out there. At the drive, it was launched. What we are advising people to do is, in the case of the medicines and so the medication, that you don't purchase them and collect them over the counter. You go to the pharmacies and you pay for them, and you call NADMA and let us know who purchased, and we can collect. You purchase, you let us know, call us at the office, let us know, and we will do all that we need to do to ensure that we collect the items and then have them shipped off to Cuba.
For GBN News, Anika Alexander, trainee reporter.
Over the past 2 decades, Grenada has made tremendous progress improving child and adolescent health and well-being. But challenges persist. Mental health conditions, developmental delays, disabilities, injuries, and non-communicable diseases such as childhood diabetes still pose threats to the nation's children. GBN's Krista Campbell takes a closer look at one of these health challenges, that is childhood obesity, for our health segment complements Gittins Healthcare.
We already do have a population of children that are obese and that are going to develop the diseases that we don't want them to have by the time they're 25.
Childhood obesity is a complex disease. In general, it is assumed to be the result of an increase in caloric and fat intake. On the other hand, there is supporting evidence that excessive sugar intake by soft drink, increased portion size, and steady decline in physical activity have been playing major roles in the rising rates of childhood obesity. Researchers say susceptibility genes and environmental factors interact to cause predisposition of childhood obesity. It was also found by scientists that unhealthy eating patterns and dietary habits formed during childhood contribute to childhood obesity, especially if there are susceptibility genes. GBN's Doctor on-Call facilitator, Dr. Sonia Nixon, specified the dietary factors that can predispose a child to obesity.
You don't want a child to become accustomed to high salty food. Right. Because it sets them up, okay? You don't want your child, we don't want to be giving our children sugar sweetened beverages. Yet they're providing juices that we buy and give our children that are very, very high in sugar, right? That predispose our children to death and obesity.
Dietary intervention studies have suggested that a multi-level approach that focuses on diet is essential in the control and the prevention of childhood obesity. Thus, many researchers agree that prevention is the key strategy for controlling this current problem. Here is Dr. Nixon with an elucidation of the dietary preventative measures.
Breastfeeding is known to be one of the single most important tools in preventing obesity as children grow.
Individual, familial, social, and political level involvement are also recommended for effective and sustainable nutritional management of childhood obesity. A We Culture viewer highlighted the role that various stakeholders play in the prevention of childhood obesity.
All the rubbish that the supermarkets are selling to harm our children, I'm asking the parents to leave it in the supermarket.
Thank you, sir.
And I agree with the doctor in what she is saying. And this should be done on a government level as a policy.
Experts say the most promising approaches for childhood obesity management are intervening with support at levels ranging from the individual to the community. Krista Campbell, GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Grenada has received its first batch of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Tonight, we listen to the opinions of our online and listening audience as they discuss whether they are now more encouraged to take the COVID-19 jab.
I have been waiting on the Pfizer brand to get to Grenada for some time. Now I will be at the stadium to get my vaccine. I know people who have been waiting for the Pfizer, so I do think that more people will take the vaccine.
Months they're asking for a variance in vaccines. We finally get one and we still questioning it. I mean, Grenadians, what do you want? You want God to come and tell you to take the vaccine? You want Jesus to come and say, hold this in your hand?
I will or will not take it depends on the explanation or experiences some people have had. People have had another choice to choose from, and I hope the powers that be will do better job to encourage citizens to take the jab. All these attitudes and arrogance brings more defiance among people, so I think they will still be defiant, and people will be saying they're waiting on the Cuban vaccine because they don't trust the American vaccine, but the one from Cuba. Remember the president saying that there will be a third shot known as a booster shot, which brings lots of open questions on taking that protein shot. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was highly effective in clinical trials at preventing COVID-19 among people of diverse age, sex, race, and ethnicity categories. The vaccine is also highly effective at preventing COVID-19 infections in adolescents 12 to 15. People keep hydrated, lots of water to keep hydrated, coconut water, keep drinking water. I will be encouraged to take the vaccine if we as citizens are given more information on the vaccine introduced. So I'll appreciate if the Minister of Health gives us more information and details on the vaccine. And with my research as well, I'll be encouraged to take it.
Well, to be honest, for me, I have taken the jab already, and it didn't matter to me which one of the vaccine we got, because as far as I'm concerned, vaccine do assist in saving life.
Some in the health center every Monday morning for blood pressure and diabetes medication, yet they saying they trust God. And as soon as they get a cut and have to get tetanus vaccine, they close in their eyes and take it without asking what's in it and what side effects you get.
That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
Smart Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
Let's get tough on breed your larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the farmers, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop breeding larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report pre-deal larceny, call 300.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
There's no better way to start your day than with me on Good Morning Grenada. Good Morning Grenada is your one-stop shop. We have information, education, entertainment, your bi-weekly traffic cam, and we link up with the sister isles of Carriacou and PT Martinique. Join me every 6:35 on weekdays for Good Morning Grenada. It's your daily dose of all things Grenadian, mixed with just a little bit of crazy. Good morning, good morning. I said just a little bit of crazy. I tell all of the things that take me. Good Morning Grenada, 6:35 a.m. on weekdays. Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is 19 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you who are just getting out of bed and just joining us, happy to have you. And those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. It's time for us to step into the showroom where we feature our local talent and discuss how things have been progressing here in Grenada when it comes to a country full up of talented people. Joining me virtually this morning is a man that's no stranger, especially when it comes to Grenadian culture and things of, you know what? No, things made in Grenada. Joining us this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the one and only Mr. Dexter Mitchell. Good morning, Mr. Mitchell. How art thou on this fantalocious Friday?
Good morning, Blossom. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome, and good morning to your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite. Always a pleasure to talk culture, to talk music, to talk things made in Grenada.
I like that. I see what you did there. Well, this morning, Dexter, I've been looking at music produced by Grenadians. Last week, we spoke with Mr. Legs, and coming up over the next 2 weeks, I have plans for Expert out of Carriacou. I have plans for Sandman and more of our talented Grenadians. But this morning, I want to look at the evolution of Grenadian music, how far we have come over the decades that our Grenadian talent has been putting out musical entertainment for us. So I want to go, I don't want to say right back, because right back is way before my time, way before your time too. But if you can sum up how far Grenadian music has come, both in terms of the product of our artists as well as those that are produced by Grenadians, how would you encapsulate the development and evolvement of Grenadian music?
In some ways, we have made significant strides, and in some ways, we have run away from the formula, from the things that have made us successful. And we could go back and let us use, because of the proliferation of jazz music, let us use Moss as the way back, as that border, as it relates to the past.
Makes sense.
And if you look at what they have done with the jazz rhythm, with the jazz music, with the lyrics that are still pertinent, I don't know if while our indigenous music, the jazz music, has gotten more popular. Obviously, Talpree, Lavaman, Little Natty, and Thunder, and so on, have done exceedingly well internationally. I don't know that we are presently capitalizing on the base that was set for us in terms of producing music that will last. So I'm not sure that at this stage, too many of the songs that are produced are songs that are going to be played 15 or 20 years from now, because they would have no relevance, because they are not well written. The guys are not taking the time. They are not taking full advantage of the technology. So you have the technology that gives you the opportunity to do a lot of things with the music, but they are not doing musical things. They are doing computer-generated things. A lot of the young fellas have excellent ideas, but they are not writing. So I've heard songs recently that is just the hook line. They just focus on the hook line. It is catchy, but there is nothing else. So imagine as a consumer, after listening to that 10 or 15 times, you're not interested anymore, because all that remains with you is the hook. There is not a story in it. So I think we have made significant strides, but I still think that sometime we would have to, as the song says, go back to roots, go back to our tradition, and develop proper songs that will last and last the test of time.
Why do you think we have lost that? Why most of us, and I say us as an artist, yes, so I say I'm an artist too, but why do you think most of our artists have lost the idea of building a story with their songs?
Two things. One, social media. So you can circumvent traditional media and put your songs out there. And the people who like you, who support you, they will tell you this is the best thing since sliced bread. And you can focus on that and ignore the people who are telling you you should do better, that this needs some more work. So that is creating a false sense of security, as it were, for the artist, a false sense of celebrity also, because you have these social media celebrities. I mean, I saw something recently, and I did not know the artist existed, but apparently he's extremely popular via social media. And also, and I know you guys have been in the news lately, traditional media has a part to play and some blame to take also. When you have so many of the young DJs on air who are friends with these young artists, so you don't have program directors that vet the songs. So Blossom, and you've heard it, somebody saying, all right, I just get this, I'm just downloading it and playing it for the first time. That is not supposed to happen. That song has to be vetted by a program director, by a manager, and pass some kind of standard test before it goes on air. But if you have a partner who will play it for you, and he's telling you it's okay, then fine, let it go.
I agree.
So I think those two things, excuse me, if they are the stringent standards, I think guys know that they would have to work harder. And if they do, then we'll have better quality music.
You mentioned vetting, and that brought up an issue that I have found since started working here at Classic. Some of our musicians, well, actually this has happened during the COVID lockdown. Soca used to be about flags and well, not all of them, but flags and whining and galloping. But I have gotten songs with obscenities in them. And that to me felt like it's taken away from what soca has been, should be. Soca doesn't have these kind of words in them. Soca is more about getting on. When did we come to the point where we're using words that can't be heard in public and putting them in soca? And that took me back.
Well, for the purposes of this conversation, let us say calypso. Soca is a derivative of calypso. Excuse me.
Right.
And to me, it's still all calypso. If we had to sell our music internationally, outside of the West Indian or the Caribbean diaspora, people don't know soca. They know calypso. Calypso, what Harry Belafonte had done, and so on, even the Sparrow to some extent, Arrow. People identify calypso with the Caribbean. Calypso, cricket. So I would, for the purposes of this discussion, say calypso. And what calypso has been able to do very successfully over the years is create consumers who became thinkers, because you had double meaning. So you were trying to say something, but you did not say it directly, and so the listener had to try to determine what you were trying to say. Is it that what the artist is really trying to say? And that made it attractive. But then when you circumvent that process and you go straight direct into the cussing or whatever it is, then it becomes a turn off. And it is not our nature to accommodate those kinds of languages, expressions in the public domain. But we want to be thinking. We want something that says, is he really saying what I think he's saying? Versus, okay, that's it what he's saying, and you kind of get turned off of it. So it also shows a lack of creativity on behalf of the artist. I think if you look at dancehall and reggae music right now, they are suffering because that is the road they chose to go down. So when you had a Beanie Man or Bounty Killer or Buju Banton singing about social ills, even if they might have used some very coarse language, it expressed how the consumer or how the listener was feeling. But when you start making derogatory comments about women and so on, you're insulting people. You're not entertaining people. And once it moves from being entertainment to insulting, then I think you lose most of your audience. So even what we're creating now, and I know the expression has been used before, microwave music. We are creating music now that lasts 2 weeks. Guys actually, I've seen it this year, guys actually created songs on the weekend of what was supposed to be Carnival to be played that weekend, and supposedly Jubilee morning, Monday and Tuesday. And then what happens after that? So we have some work to do in that regard. I'm not knocking the young talent. The guys are extremely talented, but I think that they have to put some more effort. They have to not keep getting gassed up by their friends. That is easy. The people who like you will tell you what you want to hear. Well, not necessarily, but people, sometimes you have to listen to the critics also. You have to listen to the other side to determine where you are going wrong, what is not making sense, and make the necessary adjustments.
What work needs to go into as well is topics. I'm tired of hearing the same thing. Women's body parts and what you will do to a woman and rum. If it's not about women, it's rum. And I'm just tired of hearing the same topics being recycled over and over again. Expand your horizons. That's one of the reasons why I like Dash. Dash is an artist that could sing about anything, and he does. I don't recall a song from Dash singing about woman. He probably has one or two, but none comes to mind at the moment. And we need to look at other things that we could sing about. I'm starting to get tired, to be honest.
No, but apart from just the changing of the topics, you have to be creative. So if you look at Skinny Banton, for example, and to me, Skinny Banton is the best example of that symmetry between what would be old school and new school, in that he appeals to young people, but he still tells his story. 3 verses and a chorus that you want to listen to over and over and over. He sings about horn over and over and over, but it is the treatment of the topic that makes it interesting and make people want to latch on to the music.
Facts.
He also gets quality music. He goes to a studio and gets musicians to put together, arrange proper music for him. So it is danceable, you can listen to it, you are comfortable with it. He's not cussing women, he's just speaking of his experiences, things that we can all relate to. So I think Skinny Banton is a perfect example of the treatment of the topic and appealing to a wide cross-section of the audience. But like I said, we need to treatment of topics, because you can sing rags and flags. I mean, Super Blue has done it for most of his career. But it is the treatment of the topic. How do you treat it? Do you get writers? Do you get people to assist you? And I think that is one of the other things, Blossom. We have some very sensitive young people who do not want to, as the Jamaicans say, take talking to. They are not interested in, and I've been in the studio and you try to learn some advice, and people tell you, I don't want to hear you, that's my thing, that's the way I want to do it. So we can do better. I mean, our music is doing extremely well. All these jubilee parties and jam parties around the world and so on is fueled by Grenada music. But we want to create music that lasts. We want to capitalize on the movement so that it is not just a fad, and 2 years from now, they've moved on to Barbados or St. Lucia's music or whatever. We want to be able to create a base that wherever carnivals are celebrated in the world, that it is fueled by properly produced, properly written Grenadian music.
Looking from the background now, the folks who are in the studio, the producers, the guys behind the scenes, that aspect when it comes to Grenadian music has impressed me, because we have so many local producers, most of whom have their own studios, recording, mixing, mastering, and so on and so forth. The distance we have come from just being artists to being able to produce our own music and music from our own fellow artists. Has that impressed you as it has impressed me?
It is impressive in one sense. I still believe also that we have some ways to go in regard to that. The use of the technology is making it easier to make music. And I say make music guidedly, because I believe you have to be a musician to make music. So a lot of those young producers are not musicians. They can maneuver the computer programs extremely well and create fantastic songs. But it would be useful if they can make music. As it relates to mastering and mixing, a lot of them run the music or the completed project through these programs. Again, you would have to be a proper musician to find out what is not working in the mix and to determine the quality for mastering and so on. Most people who are successful in the music industry will tell you that it is not in the best interest of quality music to have the same person producing, the same person mixing, and the same person mastering. After a while, your ears kind of become numb, and you convince yourself what you're hearing is good. So it would be best to have the treatment of the music at different stages taken care of by different people. So that is one of the things that I would advise. I mean, yeah, it's easy. You could make a money as a hustle, you charge a man, whatever, and you do everything, and it looks nice on the credits, mixed, mastered, and produced by. But it is probably not in the best interest of the quality of the music. What I was hoping, Blossom, during this down period and many down period, as it relates to carnival and cultural activities and mass gatherings and so on, I was expecting, and I even contacted the Spice Mass Corporation in that regard, about doing workshops and doing some seminars, so we can take that unbridled talent, that energy, and point it in a particular direction. But they seem not interested in that. But it would have been a wonderful opportunity to say to the young producers, to the young artists, this is where the music should go. Get some of the elders who have done it successfully, bring them in and point these young guys in a particular direction. But sadly, that has not happened. I'm hopeful that when things get back up and running, that is one of the undertakings immediately, that we recognize that the guys are talented, but they are not doing it to the best of their ability. They're not making use of all that is available, including the experience and the expertise of those who have done it successfully. And let us get everybody together and ensure that we have a better quality product.
In developing the better quality, and I remember us having this conversation about the role the SMC can play with No Carnival, what they can do in the absence of the actual traditional Spice Mass events. How can they better foster our talented Grenadians? I mean, providing a platform, doing a workshop, those are two things, but how can they actually further help a matter of fact, further help our artists, whether it's help somebody buy a mic, help somebody pay for studio time, I don't know. Do they have that kind of ability?
Yeah, I think if you start with the workshops and the seminars, once you have those gatherings, then you would get the information of what is needed. Is it really the equipment? Guys need upgrading of the equipment. Do they need to purchase better programs for the computers, even if they have the hardware and so on? But again, that has to come out of having something. You cannot sit in the Spice Mass office and determine what is needed. You have to bring those guys in and find out what is needed. I know the Ministry of Culture built 2 studios, one at McDonald College, one at SAS, but we have not heard anything of those who are the people actually going into the studios and working with the young people. And just think about what Sotes has meant for soca music over the years. There must be young people who are interested in production in St. Patrick right now. I mean, spurred on by the success of Inspector and Boise and the others. So how do we harness that talent? How do we bring them in and make a determination of what is missing? It is amazing, Blossom. I was talking to somebody recently about it. Grenada is the only island in the Caribbean, outside of course Jamaica, that continues to produce music regardless of what is happening. So carnival or no carnival, every week you are getting new songs. And we have this uncanny ability to produce new artists every season. So think about it, as long as you can remember being involved with carnival, every year there's a major breakthrough artist. And it is almost as though the people determines that. There will be somebody who we never heard about before who is going to have a successful year. Again, so that energy, that drive, that talent need to be harnessed. We need, because what you find happening that somebody might come out and make a big splash in year one, and then you don't hear of them ever again, or they're struggling to get back to that level. And that is because they don't have not just the resources, but the talking to guide them through that process. Okay, yes, it was probably a flash in the pan. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't understand why you were successful in 2012 or whatever it might have been. But here are the guidelines for how you maneuver yourself through this industry. And I think we really, really missed the boat in that regard over the last 2 years, just to bring all the talent together. Have Boise come in and speak to his success. What has made him successful to win as many titles as he has? What has made Talbot successful? Use the talents of Moxan Studios in Tivoli. They have produced most of the Calypso over the last 10 years or so. But I think we need to get that together. We cannot leave it up to chance, because if we do, we will be overtaken by another island very soon, because we don't have a base, we don't have a foundation. We can't just say jab, jab, jab. Yeah, we're the kings of jab, but there's no structure to how we produce it and ensure that we produce quality music that is going to stand the test of time.
Quality music. That brings to mind a specific artist that is popular for the wrong reasons. His music is not of the best. It was 2018, 2019. He splashed onto the scene in semis. Oh gosh, what was the name of the song again? I can't really say it on air, but it speaks about a woman's body part. And he has a YouTube channel. Let me just say it, Ice Chris. And Ice Chris, he has a special kind of way that he does his music. And he's not the only one that does not really have the kind of quality that we would want and expect from other artists. Is there a way that we can help nurture these youngsters? Is it that I don't have money to pay for studio time, so let me do my own thing? Yeah, can we foster that artistic energy better? Because at the end of the day, people are branding them, Grenadian artists.
Grenadian, exactly. Of course, and that's why we spoke to what happened or what did not happen over the last 2 years. That you give these guys an opportunity to come in, and you create scholarships as it were, or you create opportunities for guys to work with studios and understand. I had a studio producer tell me recently that, excuse me, he brought in some young fellas, but they do not want to listen to him. They come in, they have the hook, and that's what they want to do. Just record this, take this, and we'll go work with that. So if you have a workshop, a seminar where you can dispense information and let them understand, use other songs. So when you play, for example, you play Skinny Banton, and let them understand why that song continues to be a hit song, or the songs that Skinny has done over the years continue to be hit songs. Listen to the quality of the music, listen to the storytelling, listen to the lyrics, listen to the fact that he's not offending anybody in the song, that he's relating stories that we can all understand and can all relate to. But we need to get those guys in and recognize that we have an industry. And we have to be the guardians of the industry. It is easy to stand by and be critical and say, I ain't listening to Grenada music no more. It's just nonsense. And it is kind of becoming that way because, like I said, there are no control mechanisms. So you give your partner your song, it goes on the air, you have a DJ segment on the air, and he plays his song. It's not approved by management, but he feels he's big because his song is getting pulled up on the radio because his partner doing it for him. He put it on YouTube and he get 12,000 views and he's the hottest thing out. No, you can't tell me nothing because look at the amount of views I get on YouTube. But are you creating a product that will make you money? Are you creating a product that 10 years from now, you have an 8-year-old daughter, you would want her to listen to it? Is that the kind of music that you're producing? And the only way, apart from talking about it, the only way is to actually do something about it. Bring those guys into seminars, into workshops, the Grenada Cultural Foundation, the Ministry of Culture, Spice Mouse Corporation. They have nothing to do right now. So work on the product. Something that we are going to be proud of as Grenadians. It's like I said, it's easy to have the talk shows and critique and so on. What we have to do is actually do something about it. Get up and go to the studio that you built in Sotes and bring the young people and have people talk to them.
Let's say I have an interest in producing music. I build my little studio and I'm starting to get into the field. And some artists come to me and I find that song is really making sense. Should I really refuse it? They say all publicity helps. And money talks. I'm just trying to get my feet wet. Should I refuse some things and accept others? Or should I do all that I could get and then after a while start to weed out what is making sense?
If you are a responsible citizen, first of all, and then if you have some pride in your work, you would refuse it or you would offer advice. And I have been to studios where producers have told artists, no, this is not working. I've seen a producer tell an artist, no, music is not your thing. Find something else to do. This is not going to work for you. I've seen a producer tell a very well-established artist, what are you doing behind the mic? You can't record as yet. You have to go and write a song and come back. And he thought, well, I am, so and so. How you could tell me that? I'm not recording you until you write a song and come back. So you have to set some standards. You have to provide assistance also. I know a studio that one of the services that they don't really charge for, but the offer is writing. So you come with a voice and a chorus, and one of the producers will actually help you finish writing the song and put the structure together and so on, help with the rhyming scheme and those things. So there has to be some assistance. There has to be frank and open conversations, because what would happen, Blossom, if you take the money as a producer from the artist, and he goes out there, he gets his 2 weeks of fame, but then eventually he figures out that, this thing didn't really work. He would not want to work with you no more. But if you're honest with him and tell him, look, we need to do something better. I could bring in somebody to help with the writing. I could bring in somebody to help you with your voice, the intonations and so on. He might have a bit more respect for you, and you as a producer in time to come will be able to make much more money. But it seems the trend is, the man pay any money, I go do what he wants, and then with DJ partner on the radio, go play it, and with YouTube channel, go play it. So I don't need to hear no critique from anybody. I'll do what I want. I think that is what needs to be adjusted. We've seen it happen with dancehall music. That has become extremely unpopular right now. There's no substance to it anymore. It is not trending as it used to before. When the hottest thing in Jamaica right now is still Beenie Man and Bounty Killer Voices, you know that dancehall is in trouble. We do not want that to happen to our music. We're too talented. We had a foundation that was built in the mid-80s to the mid-90s, the Skylark, the Ajamos, the Inspectors, the Black Wizards, the Squeezes, and so on. I'm hopeful that with what the technology has given us, what the international exposure has given us, that the road that these guys started on, that we can continue now. And to the economic success of the country, because when these artists go out to perform, when the music is sold outside, it brings foreign exchange into the country. They are able to take care of their families, take care of their relatives, invest, But we have to do it the right way to see the full benefits of it.
Let's take a quick break, Mr. Mitchell, and then come back inside with the discussion. This conversation is going better than I expected. We are in the showroom this morning with Dexter Mitchell. Stick and stay. We will be right back.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Introducing Color by Sissons. Color by Sissons. Color by
Color by Sissons.
There's no better way to start your day than with me on Good Morning Grenada. Covering everything you need to start your mornings off right. 6:35 a.m. on weekdays on all GBN platforms. Good Morning Grenada, adding a little blossom to your mornings.
Coughs and sneezes spread diseases, so cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is...
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. We are talking about the evolution of Grenada's music with the man, the maiden Grenada man himself, Mr. Dexter Mitchell. Dexter, I want to ask about jab music, because that's one of the things that music lovers have grown to expect from Grenada, something jab related. Is there a way that we can keep the authenticity of what jab's serious jab music is about, but still put a twist to it where it can still fit into 2021 and beyond?
Most certainly. Sorry, everything evolves, and jab music is not exempt from that. In fact, we had done a documentary on the development of jab music, how Moss International came about to do Jambalasi. And one of the things that the brothers, Leon and Ricky, pointed out to, as the pioneers of jab music, is that they would love to see an evolution of it. So I think Ricky was being a little bit facetious when he said that he'd love to see a love song in jab. The jab could sing about being in love and whatever, at that kind of tempo. But the idea is to use the elements of jab, and the elements of jab are the drumming, the creativity with the spelling and those things. So you can slow it up, you can speed it down. And I think, again, the young people has to be kind of pointed in that direction. Saying jab in a song does not make it a jab song. Using the keyboards on the computer to try to create a drum pattern is not necessarily the jab song. You have to try as close as possible to mimic the sound of the goatskin drums. Go to Tivoli and listen to all those guys play the drums and try to get it as close as possible. It is extremely difficult to get it on the computer programming because you actually have to use your fingers, tick, 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 and that does not do well. I mean, if you have a proper studio, then you can bring in live drumming and those things, or get somebody who can play it as close as possible for you. So I think we need to focus on exactly what it is, not saying jab. You can't just say jab and cuss in a song and, that is what has happened to the morning, so that makes it a jab song. No, it is a particular song that has to do with the drumming, and then incorporate the elements of Juve Morning, so that the spelling, you put it in the song like Jambalasi did, and create a proper song, and create, as you said, create creativity around it, so that it can, and I think Ricky pointed out what Sandman had did. Sandman had a song where he used a kind of deep tone in his voice, and you heard the elements of Juve Morning with the shells and the chain dragging and so on. So be creative in that regard. like I said, Skiddy Banton sings about horning, but he uses elements of the jab rhythm, the drummings, and so on to get his message across. So it's not just blow a shell, say jab and cuss that makes it a jab song. We actually have to get it right. We have to actually establish the song. But one of the things that we have to be careful of, and you see elements of it, I think Trinidad has tried it to some extent. St. Vincent has tried it in creating music and referring to it as jab music. We have to establish that if you want to do jab music, you have to come to a Grenada studio and record, because only we can do jab music. The Jamaicans will tell you that. I mean, there are some instances where reggae music, dancehall has been produced by non-Jamaicans, but they would generally tell you that if you want authentic reggae music, you have to come to Jamaica and record. So I think we have to work on that. Again, it is an economic driver. It means that foreign exchange coming back into the country also. But we have to establish that kind of jab stamp, that if you want it, you have to come to Grenada to get it.
Developing our calypsonians, and helping keep it where it was in terms of its popularity. What needs to be done there from our, not just the artists, but from our local producers as well, music producers, people in the studio, to help our calypsonians regain popularity?
Two things. One, workshops for young people to help them write calypsos, to keep them interested in calypsos. And you, and by you, I'm referring to radio.
Fair enough.
No, there has to be some time made available for calypso, and not just necessarily new calypso. People love calypso. It has been said over and over and over. People don't go to the Mashkara, but when you have private calypso shows, whether at the Trade Center or on the Spice Basket, they sell out. The semi-finals, the Calypso tents in Grenville do extremely well. So it means that there is an audience for Calypso. But like we said earlier on in the conversation, there are no program directors, so the young DJs go on and they play what they want to, so nobody determines the direction we should go in. Last night I was having a conversation with some friends. I was telling them that if I became Prime Minister of Grenada for one day, one of the first things I would do is pass a law that says that everybody in Grenada must listen and play calypso every Saturday morning. You must wake up to calypso. That is what we knew. But if we have to take measures to keep the traditions that we want. We cannot just sit by and say that it is dying, and there has to be a fix. There has to be something that has to be done. And I'm saying that against the backdrop of I taking on my own in an individual capacity. I got sponsored by Grenada Cooperative Bank, and I'll forever be grateful to them for that, to conduct junior calypso workshops, go around to schools around the island. And it was amazing blossom that I'm thinking that these young kids would not be interested in calypso. I mean, you get to the school and they're singing Lavaman songs, or they're singing reggae songs and so on. But they actually wrote calypsos, and we actually were able to record some of the calypsos and have them played on here. But there has to be a concerted effort to groom young calypsonians and an outlet for the playing of calypso. Most of the calypsonians and most of the seasoned calypsonians will tell you that it makes no sense recording and investing $1,500 into recording a song that is not going to be played. We also have to look at calypso's content. What are we doing calypso for? Are we using it to curse government and to curse people, or are we using it to deal with the social ills? And a great example of how calypso has evolved and how it has turned off people. When Gypsy sang Captain, the Ship is Sinking, he wasn't calling any names. And that could have referred to anybody. So you could play the song for your husband. If things are not working well in the house, you could play Captain, the Ship is Sinking, and it is a reference to him. You could play it for a politician in St. Lucia, you could play it for a politician in St. Vincent. But when Kroko came and used the same melody and the same song and said, Pandey, the jail is waiting, then he's offending the people who are loyal or who likes Basio Pandey. And once you start doing that, you start thinning the audience for calypso. People want to be able to sit in the audience and say, no, it's not my politician, it's not us he's singing about, it's them he's singing about. Right. And you have the audience full, everybody pointing at everybody, and everybody singing along because it's not us. But when you start calling specific names, then half of the people are insulted and are not going to show. So I think the treatment of calypso, how we deal with calypso, the fact that the competition has evolved into two extremely slow songs is a turn off for people. Remember, the Marchga takes us into Juve. People are looking for that drive, that second song, that up-tempo song, to take them into Juve or to end the carnival, because a lot of people don't go on the streets, and we have to address those things. But again, it would have called for a conversation over the last 2 years. Let us address those things. Here in Grenada, there's the issue of the Calypso Association. So again, how do we deal with that? And how do we get past that hump? Make sure that there is proper representation. I think the person who is the director of Calypso and the Spice Mass Corporation, I heard him in an interview recently saying he doesn't know when Soca Monarch started in Grenada. No, how do you represent the soca artists and the Calypsonians if you have no idea of the history? And this is recent history, 1994. So then showing that the people who are there, who are working on behalf of the Calypsonians, actually know what they are about, know what they are doing, and that they can represent them properly. But we have to work on it. We cannot just continue to talk about it. There has to be an effort. Grenada Cultural Foundation, Ministry of Culture, Spice Mass Corporation, people are in offices getting paid. They have to go out and get the work done.
There's a question on the Facebook. Somebody on Facebook asks, would you agree that the reason why our music is not lyrical because most of the artists cannot play an instrument, so the writing is poor? For example, Dash, he played in the RGPF band. The great Bob Marley played a guitar, and the young lady who does the commercial also played the guitar. So I think playing a musical instrument can go a long way. Agree or disagree?
It certainly does. It gives an artist a huge advantage because you can pick up your guitar and begin to strum and strum out a melody. You can go on the keyboards and do that. But even more important than the artist being able to play a musical instrument are the producers. No, so even if the artist cannot play the instrument, but he goes to the producer, he has his lyrics, because that is what you want from the artist, is to be able to put the songs together, and the producer now can put all the elements of music around it. So I agree, you have an advantage, but it is not a requirement for an artist to be a musician. But it certainly should be a requirement and an advantage for a producer to be able to play at least one musical instrument. You cannot make music if you cannot play music.
That's a good point. As we close this morning, Dexter, what should take place with and for our artists, let's say for the rest of 2021? I was happy to see them continuing to produce music even with the absence of Carnival. I know that what would have been Spice Mass season is officially ended, quote unquote. What should our artists be doing to develop themselves as artists and behind the scenes, whether it be producers or the musicians?
What my advice would be is that they should seek out advice, seek out help from the people who have been there. So I know, for example, Leon Charles is around, Ricky is around, and those guys are not adverse to dispensing information. So you can call them or reach out to them, ask for advice. Black Wizard has over 50 years of experience in entertainment. You can reach out to him. Ajamu is still available. And seek advice and talk to people who've been successful, who've done it well. Because what you are enjoying right now is not success. Having your song played on YouTube 10,000 times is not success. Speak to the guys who have been successful. Also, I think on one very important point we have not touched on yet, Blossom, determine what you want to do. Is this just a hobby or is this a business? Do you really want to make money out of it? Do you want to be taken serious? And if you do, then you have to put some sort of structure around you. It can be, if your song is hot, your girlfriend will be your manager or your partner will be your manager, and you have people who don't know what they're about around you, not telling you the right things. And that is happening too often in Grenada. People are underpaid, people are underserviced in terms of what advice and things that they should be getting because they feel comfortable with a girlfriend handling the business who has no prior experience in music business. So determine what you want to do and put some kind of structure around it. You have to invest in it. If you buy a bus, there are requirements. You have to change the brakes, you have to insure, you have to license. It is the same thing with music. You have to make some kind of investment, the way you present yourself. You have to get people to prep you on interviews, how to talk to the public, how to dress when you go out publicly, how your outward appearance and so on. You have to have a character. Tarpri has his spiky gear. He makes a point of not ever being outside with his spiky gear. That is him. So you have to determine those things. But seek advice. At this stage, my advice would be to seek advice. Speak to people who have been there, who have done it. And we have a lot of people who have been successful. Speak to them. When you do something, run it by somebody. Don't give it to your DJ partner, because you play it and he will tell you that the best thing ever. Run it by somebody who could tell you critically that this is good or this needs working on, and take that criticism and work with it.
Appreciate you very much, Mr. Mitchell. This was a riveting conversation, and from the comments on the WhatsApp and on the social media, it was a very well done conversation. You are very informed and appreciate all the information you can share with us this morning. Have yourself a blessed Friday and a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Blossom, and I'm looking forward to hear playing some calypso for one of these days.
Okay, give my artist, name my artist, and then I'll play it after the BBC.
Skylark.
Anyone? Any Skylark?
Any Skylark.
Any Skylark. All right, I'll write it down. I'll play a Skylark after BBC. Thank you very much, Dexter. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I enjoyed this conversation this morning. Always good when we can hear from our Grenadians, how they're thinking, what they're saying on various matters, especially when it comes to our local artists and our local talent. Thank you very much to Mr. Mitchell once again. Thank you very much, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. Appreciate it. We will join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast, and we will go up until about 8:15 with the BBC. For those of you who missed the first, minute and a half of the broadcast, or the news bulletin, I should put it that way. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. This is where we end the televised portion. Bye bye.